It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to Game Mess Decides Podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games so you don't have to think for yourself. I'm your host, AJ Minotti. With me is
Sean McDowell.
In today's episode, I didn't write a rundown. Oh no, we got news. We got leaked hardware that's not a Switch 2. We've got a new trailer for the old country, and GTA 6 has been delayed, and we will tackle the Mount Rushmore of GTA clones. But first, Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great, AJ. This is a totally normal podcast, as everyone can see. Me and you doing like we always do, right?
You got young Jeff and old Mike here.
That's right.
Just squint.
It's
and it'll be like a normal show.
It's last of the Nintendogs 100, the run back, back when they were both out of town and we had to do it on our own. Oh my goodness!
Right, that's right. Yeah, the historic episode of Last of the Nintendogs.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Mike is still in Disney World, and then Jeff is traveling out to Boston for PAX. So we decided, hey, we still want to do a show. We still want to give you a show this week. So me and AJ are doing it this week.
And we had the stream key.
We broke in. We found it. Yeah. Christian on the sticks as always. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
Pikmin himself. All right, let's get this rundown complete here. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for watching us live. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening. Hit that like button on YouTube if you are watching live, please. If you would like to ask a question, you can drop a super chat. Easy for me to say. Wow. Off to a good start during the show on YouTube. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme song. Thank you to One Up vs. CPU for our artwork. You can find more of him at oneupvscpu.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thank you again to Christian for producing. You can get more from Jeff and Mike by supporting them at patreon.com/GameMess. Thank you to all the new patrons in the last couple weeks here. It's been much appreciated. Becoming a patron gets you access to their Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions that Jeff sometimes does, and the Game Club discussions, early access to new episodes, and shows like Columbros, and of course all of our shows ad-free. You can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member or a Twitch subscriber to Mike's channel, Tolkoto. Jeff is Jeff Grubb, and Christian is Christian_Rarg, R-A-R-G. All right, that's all done and out of the way. Let's get right into this news. There was a big leak of the Xbox handheld, sort of. This is a leak that started from an FCC filing of all things. This comes via video cards. It's basically the ROG Ally 2. And what we are getting from this leak is there are two models of the ROG Ally 2, much as there was two models of the original ROG Ally. A white model, that's the kind of lower end system, and then a higher end black model that has Xbox branding, including an Xbox home button on it. The leak specs show them both as having the Ryzen Z2 and Extreme in the Xbox model and AMD 4-core Aerith Plus in the base model. They both have a 7-inch, 128 megahertz screen. The Xbox model has 32 gigabytes of RAM, while the base has 16. So 32 gigs of shared memory, so you'll have to do the mix with the GPU for VRAM, but still much more than we've had in any of these machines so far. I think the Ally X tops out at 24. So, we also have some leaked, looks like prototype hardware. It has that weird dusty look that these things have when they're not smoothed out, but very similar layout to the current ROG as far as button placement goes, with that extra Xbox button, but also has much more ergonomic kind of grips built into the chassis itself. So it actually looks like it'd be a lot more comfortable to hold.
Yeah, it looks like
than the current ROG.
Almost like GameCube contrber grips. It's not like you might expect like Xbox grips because it's Xbox branded, at least on this one that we're looking at right now. But yeah, it has like those sort of vertical kind of skinny GameCube handles on it. It looks a bit odd, actually, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of looking at like there's pictures from different angles if you go looking it up. I think that'll work. I as someone who owns a Steam Deck and a ROG Ally, I much prefer the ergonomics of the Steam Deck. The Ally, it's very angular. I find it actually kind of uncomfortable to hold at times. But you know, the question this raises is what exactly is Xbox's involvement beyond this button? Will this kind of debut with this supposed new Xbox app experience that's being developed for Windows 11, where there'll be something even more bespoke than that, like an Xbox OS similar to Steam OS that's like a game mode for Windows 11. That's a possibility. We saw the leaked screenshots that appeared to be like an updated Xbox app that had filters for things like Steam, which could mean this could replace the Armory Crate software as your kind of launcher on the system, which would be great because I can't stand Armory Crate. Are you surprised we're getting this soon? Like, especially with Steam kind of saying we're really still a couple years at least away from a new Steam Deck.
So I think getting this one right now makes sense because it presumably, because, okay, like you said, there is the black model that has the Xbox branding and also the white model that presumably is just the ROG Ally 2. So it seems to me that like in production, they had the ROG Ally 2 ready to go. This was something that they were always planning to do, a more powerful handheld for people who want it. And then Xbox came to them about this whole like co-marketing branding thing while they get their own actual handheld figured out. So I think this one makes sense. I think that, yeah, they're basically rebranding the existing ROG Ally 2 and giving us this, again, it's basically just a paint job on what's otherwise just ROG Ally with GameCube handles. So I think, yeah, this one was always going to be a product that was on the market, and now Xbox is sort of using it like a stopgap until they get to whatever their actual handheld is. I saw in the Windows Central article, Jez wrote that one up, and he commented that an actual like Xbox console, but it's a handheld, is like in the cards still, and like I think he was just like guesstimating that it would probably be like 2027. Maybe he has more knowledge about that than we do, but so it sounds like they are going to do an Xbox handheld someday that will play your Xbox games, like your console Xbox games, which is important to note. That's not what this is. This is going to be a Windows 11 handheld that runs PC games. It's going to be a great entryway into like Game Pass and everything, like the ROG Ally 1 is, but it's not going to be running all the console games at like Series S quality and all that stuff that people have been hoping for. But with that Xbox One there, maybe there is, like you were alluding to, more to it where they will finally have something in Windows 11 that is a bit more handheld friendly, a bit more controller friendly, more tied into the Xbox ecosystem. Because as of right now, I have a Steam Deck. I don't have the ROG Ally. You tell me, like, you basically just boot into a desktop mode unless you choose a launcher at boot, right?
Right. So the Ally has, I mentioned Armory Crate, which is what Asus developed as a launcher, and that's where you like control the options for the system. Things like you can manually adjust how much of the RAM is going towards VRAM. So like I have mine shifted to be 6 gigabytes of VRAM and on the 16 gigs total of the system. You can also have links there to like launchers like Steam, Ubisoft, GOG, things like that. But then you could also just launch games directly. It's okay. It's just, it feels not great. It can hang, basically. I don't know if it's just a lack of system resources or bad software. Especially, so they have their version of the quick menu that comes up on the left side of the screen, and that's where you're like selecting your frame rate limits, your overlays for performance. That's another thing that like you'll hit it, and sometimes like it doesn't take the controls over right away. So like you're still moving in your game, even though you're trying to navigate this menu because you have to give it a second. So again, I don't know, like, do they just like completely rely on the Xbox Game Bar? That could be nicer as an option. Again, if this new Xbox app is a good universal launcher that can get into your Steam library and your Epic Games library, I think there's potential there for that to replace it. Now, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be just that updated Xbox app or if they will go to the full-on like game mode, kind of like Steam OS does. Where it's almost like, a boot into desktop is a separate bespoke thing. And then by default, it's really just focused on playing games. Maybe at its core, the Ally is just a Windows 11 laptop with a controller bolted onto it and no keyboard. I mean, that is what that machine is at the end of the day, which means you can do anything you want to it. It's a computer. You can play Game Pass. You can play any store you want. You're just dealing with that Windows jank, which is not as bad as I think people make it out to be. It's just not as good as the Steam Deck or a console can be.
Okay, like, yeah, because how do you... how do you feel about interacting with what is basically a laptop, but with kind of just a touchscreen and analog sticks? Like, have you found it to be okay for the most part? Are you using? Sorry if I missed it. Are you using like Steam Big Picture mode or anything like that?
No, I tend to just use the built-in launcher because it's the quickest path to get into what I want.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't. Okay. I like it's not great, but it's the fastest thing to get into things.
Gotcha.
It doesn't bother me, but I'm like the kind of person who's willing to put up with bullshit like that. But like, you know, if you had someone who's more casual who was interested in one of these handhelds, they should definitely get a Steam Deck because it generally just works until you try to play Fortnite, and then you have that whole issue. Yeah. You know, neither one's the perfect solution yet. Now, the thing that I always said, which why I vastly prefer Steam Deck beyond the general ergonomics, those touchpads on the Steam Deck make a huge difference for navigating the desktop experience, at the least. You know, you're literally using either the touchscreen, which again is hard because it's very small, or it's the right analog stick as a virtual joystick for the mouse cursor, which doesn't feel great. Like if I really need to do like computer stuff on it, like I'm trying to install something weird, I will get out like a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse or something like that and like legit go that route, and that works. So like again, it's just a computer. So that's fine.
Yeah, meanwhile, over on the Steam Deck, like I love that I can, like I said, I was setting up some emulation stuff the other night, and I could just use the touchpads and the on-screen keyboard to do everything that I needed to do. And the touchpads are fantastic. The haptics, it's so wild. If anyone's ever used a Steam Deck, they know what I'm talking about here, where it feels like you are clicking. It feels like you are, you know, doing like a click and a drag, and like they simulate sort of a grainy feel when you're moving things around using it. But then when you turn the system off and you try like pressing on them, it's weird that just nothing happens. They don't even budge. It's just
jarring.
Yeah, it's like, I know what the MacBooks have gotten really good at this with the haptics that they have to make it feel like you're clicking, even though it's just a static pads, so that way they can like make thinner laptops. They are fantastic for navigating that desktop mode. So I've wondered what it's been like for people who do use handhelds like this, or like the Legion Go or stuff like that. And it seems like not amazing.
I get a lot of utility. I get a lot of utility out of those pads. Like you know, I play Oblivion on my Steam Deck through GeForce Now, and all I did was just you could create these little virtual menus with those trackpads. When I place my thumb on that left pad, I get quick save and quick load, and depending what half of that pad I push, stuff like that. Like it's nice. And you know, the Ally has 2 buttons on the back. I wish it was 4. And again, the Armory Crate experience for mapping those buttons is I can't figure it out, which is not great. That I have trouble like getting it to work consistently. It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so
Jeff loves that radial menu thing for like emulation stuff, and I've started using it for stuff like that as well. Like,
if you use EmuDeck, they have that all set up in advance, and like you could access all the quick menus and everything. It's very nice. Yeah. But I mean, you know, the other advantage that the Ally, and especially the Ally X, does have over the Steam Deck is it is that touch more powerful. This with the Ryzen Z2 Extreme will be even more powerful. I mean, obviously the appeal to this for especially someone who owns these handhelds already is how much more powerful will this be? You know, am I gonna finally get 60 FPS in Monster Hunter, which is hard to do on a desktop sometimes, but even like you know, something like an Oblivion remastered, is that gonna, you know, run comfortably at 60 on medium settings? You know, obviously we're gonna have to wait and see kind of where that all falls, and you know, especially if you're upgrading from a current device, is it going to be worth it, or do you wait another generation?
Right. I was trying to catch up on all the all the info that was leaking out here. And I think what I gathered was it's interesting that the Ally 2 is using this AMD Aorith Plus, which is a 4-core CPU, like you said, which apparently is an evolution of the Van Gogh architecture used in the Steam Deck, which I thought was interesting because I wonder if that's actually going to be we'll find out what that looks like, but I was wondering if that's going to even be better than the Ally 1, or if it's maybe the base Ally 2 is sort of a revision, and then this one with the Z2 Extreme, the like highest end chip that they'll be able to put in one of these things, like this Xbox branded one, is the enthusiast model. Because
and I guess the one thing I didn't point out is that the Ally 2 is a 20-watt CPU, whereas the Xbox branded one is a 36-watt. 30 is I think the max on the current Allies. So you know, it's gonna take more power. Presumably, to have that bigger battery to compensate, like they did with the X.
So maybe the base Ally 2 is going to be like comparable strength to the current one, but then more efficient. And then the Ally 2 Xbox edition or whatever is going to be like the beefy one, because that is the 8-core
that seems likely.
Yeah.
And of course, the other thing we don't know, and will be interesting to see what develops, is price.
Right.
I think the Ally X is like $800. When it first launched.
Jeez, really? $200 more than the original? That sounds right.
Because it had that faster. And then, the thing is, the Ally is very frequently on sale. Steam Decks are on sale. Refurbished ones are out there now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it'll launch maybe around that $800 price point, maybe $1,000 once, tariffs and things settle.
Right.
But if you wait 6 months or so, you'll be able to get it cheaper in all likelihood. If it follows a similar pattern. But again, who knows what's going to happen in the future with all the gaming pricing bullshit right now.
Right, everything's kind of on fire, so we'll see
everything is like, even Nintendo today said the Switch 2 price is set for launch, but they're open to potentially raising it after the fact if the tariffs demand it. They want to establish the system, so they're willing to get it out now at the current price, and we have a 90-day hold which expires sometime in July, I believe, on any tariffs supposedly. So they want to get that launch going. They want to they want to be able to say they had the biggest console launch ever. 15 million units is their projection, although some think it'll be higher than that. They think Nintendo's being conservative with that estimate.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be a wait and see. Anything could happen at any moment, which sucks because it's nice to know what's going to be going on. All right, let's move on to Mafia: The Old Country, which got a new trailer today. This game launches on August 8th. I don't know who wrote this. It's very offensive. They said the price is going to be 50 gabagools.
Hey,
and listen, a good gabagool is way more than $1, okay? $59.99 for the deluxe edition. So $50 for, again, what looks like a big AAA game. It's kind of weird that we're in this weird space where there's these $80 games, but there's really good stuff coming out at a $50 price point that you look at, you're like, why is that $30 cheaper? It looks just as good to me, but okay. Right. The trailer was pretty good. What'd you think of it?
I did not watch it yet. I'm gonna pull it up on my end.
Some help you are.
I was busy getting food poisoned by Greg Miller as cronies before the show. I'm sorry, but
he wasn't one. He put a heat on you. I know.
Look,
I know what
I'm
that
just
guy
saying.
works.
Maybe he's trying to dismantle us from the inside. Literally, who can say? But.
Yeah.
Taken out by a pizza. I think this is a Mafia marketing scheme. I think, actually, that's just a hit out on Sean. I thought it was a cool trailer, though. It's a very well put together trailer. It's very exciting. It's weird. You get the vibes of all things Assassin's Creed and Indiana Jones. I think just because there's a lot of in this trailer of going around some kind of Vatican crypt looking thing. Mm-hmm. He's sneaking up behind people and cutting their throats. But there's a lot more action. There's not just stealth. He's throwing knives and shooting people, and there's a knife fight and a car chase and a horse chase. So I don't know how. The original Mafia games always were kind of like that GTA vibe to them. I don't know. The trailer doesn't really convey the open worldness of it very much. It felt very linear, but I don't know what the plan is, if this is supposed to still be open world or not. But I was compelled by what I saw. This is on my radar now, where I was always kind of wait and see mode within August 8th for $50. That could happen. Maybe it'll come to Switch too.
Yeah, what was it coming out on? Sorry, I was I'm getting it pulled up for the video.
This trailer, the link I was watching was on PlayStation's channel. I believe it's PlayStation, PC, and Xbox.
Okay. So yeah, it could have a lower spec version for Switch 2. I could see that. It does look very pretty, I will say. Looking at this. Yeah,
very, 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 very attractive. Like I said, you can see in this trailer how I get those Assassin's Creed vibes from this part here, where he's with a little bit of Indiana Jones thrown in there too.
We're looking at him racing around the car, and sort of the visual identity does look a lot like that Machine Games Indiana Jones. I will say, just something about the finish to everything. I definitely see what you were talking about there. Oh, that man got blasted. Goddamn. Yeah, it's
got that kind of good motion blur and everything.
Yeah, this looks very pretty, and yeah, I see that sort of maybe a little bit of Naughty Dog in there with Naughty Dog, Indiana Jones, the way that it's adventure gamey. This looks, I don't know. I played Mafia 3 for a little bit. I just didn't really get into it. This seems like a decent departure from what I remember the series to be.
Mm-hmm. I haven't played it. I played some of the first 2. I never touched 3. Like I said, it felt like it was in that AA space for a long time, especially with the first 2 games. In a way like an early Saints Row kind of did. It's just this was like the old school Italian Godfather vibes version of that. Yeah. So this feels like a step up from that, which is exciting. I think this looks compelling.
Definitely.
Did you ever see the dumb Mafia 2 video Mike and I did way back?
Oh boy, no. What's the lore on this one?
15 years. I think it was for BitBob. He was visiting me in my apartment in Pittsburgh, and he was like, "Hey, like, I had to write a story for this Mafia 2 preview I got to do, and I want to do a video to go with the story." So we did some dumb thing where he was sitting in my living room eating spaghetti and meatballs, and he was talking about how there are a lot of negative Italian stereotypes in the game, and he's doing all the Italian stereotypes. He puts hot pepper seed on his meatball. He eats it. Oh, it's a spicy meatball. And then I came in and said something about how we had to talk family business and we walk off camera. And I said something about how grandpa's not happy with you, even though our grandfather had long been dead at that point. But and then you heard a gunshot, and I said, "Tell grandpa we said hi." And I whacked him, I guess. And I came in and ate the meatball, and I said, "Mamma mia, that is a spicy meatball." And I think we called him "What's the matter, you Mafia 2?" That was the height of comedy for us. 50. We've gotten better at this. Is my point, everybody.
Have you though? I mean, maybe you have.
A little bit.
We don't see you every night, but
a little bit.
Oh, good lord. Okay. What's up?
By the way, this game is not going to be open world. It's going to be so. Let me quote it. It says, "We're excited to offer a game like Mafia: The Old Country in our portfolio and provide a linear, high-polished narrative experience that can easily complement the other more persistent games our players also love and engage with on a more consistent basis." That's the quote from the 2K president. So
nice
I am for it. There are so many open world games, especially in that kind of Xbox 360 area, where it felt like it would have been a better game if it wasn't open world. The open world is just like something to kill time while you move between missions. It's like, why isn't this just going? Why do I have to do this busy work of driving around and trying to find things, this obscure map that doesn't make any sense?
Someone pointed this out. I didn't realize this. It's a $50 game.
Yeah, I said that several times.
Okay, well, you know what? I was busy doing production work. I really am Jeff tonight.
just fill your role. So is it $50 for a linear, really nice looking action game set in old school Italian mafia stuff? Sign me up. I will pay 50 gabagoos.
It feels bad, Chad. It feels real bad to admit that I've turned into grub. Okay.
It's rubbing off on you.
Do it.
All right. Final story here. You guys touched on this in Nintendogs, but GTA 6 has been delayed to May of 2026. But as a make good, we did get a new trailer for the game. Supposedly, this trailer was captured on base PS5 hardware. So that's supposedly what it's going to look like, a mix of in-game cinematics and gameplay. Yeah. So that's exciting. What do you think, Sean? You on Nintendogs, you sound a little nonplussed by the whole thing.
I mean, just in the sense that it didn't get me any more or less excited for the game, because I do think it hits a lot of the same story beats. And by the way, no, I'm not showing that one on the video version because I'm scared about getting the lures for GTA. Mafia, I don't think they care about as much. No, the game always looked good from that initial reveal trailer. I thought everything looked great. And this one kind of just reiterates what's going to be in the game, what the characters are doing, who the main character is and her relationship with her partner and everything like that. So no, I still think it just continues to look visually fantastic. And if you're just exploring the GTA version of Miami or whatever, I think yeah, I'm still on board. I'm just not any more or less on board after this trailer.
What this trailer did for me that I didn't get from the first one is it told me why I want to play as these characters, which is something GTA 5 never did for me. So this is my weird gamer thing. I've never touched GTA 5. I think I own it.
Really?
Never played it. Never fired it up. And part of it was nothing about the three main characters of that game appealed to me in any way, shape, or form. I did not want to play as those characters. I didn't want to spend time with them. Like nothing like about it was like, this sandbox is worth investing in so you could experience it as these three dudes. It just had no interest. Like you had not Italian Tony Soprano, the weird deranged guy who he's weird and deranged. Oh, his neck tattoo says "cut here." Isn't that crazy? And then like, you had the kid who's like the one who gets caught up in everything. He was like the most interesting, I guess. But like, I don't know. It wasn't for me. This whole dynamic of this young couple, she's out of jail. They're trying to get by. They're doing these heists, but they're also like romantically involved. It kind of has like it gives me like an old school film noir vibe. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Gun Crazy, which is like a classic film noir. It gives me that vibe of this kind of couple who do these crimes, and that's kind of like also the spark of their romance. And if it wasn't for the excitement of doing these crimes, they probably wouldn't work as a couple. I could see that being a cool story. I would be shocked if the story writers did not watch Gun Crazy while they were working on these characters.
Well, yeah, and as we know, like Grand Theft Auto is nothing but movie tropes and just what the writers have drawn influence from being worn very prominently on their sleeves. They do that a lot, like especially if you look to the other, Miami type game that they did with Vice City. Like that was just Scarface for the most part, like, and other movie tropes of the era and stuff. But I mean, that doesn't mean that storytelling will be any I guess I'm gonna say again, like more or less interesting, because I don't know if the type of satire that GTA has always brought to the table is still going to hit the same way or on the same level in 2025. Because it was one thing when it was, the Bush era, and we were all kind of just making fun of, oh yeah, everything's weird right now, and we're going to war, and that's really scary, and just nobody's kind of happy about that. But now it's in a way where it's like, without going too far down that path, things feel a little more dangerous, shall we say, right now, and talking about that kind of thing. I don't know if they're going to want to go down that path in the favor of maybe, reaching more general audience by not having that type of commentary, shall we say?
Well, and the other thing I guess I got from the tone of this trailer is it does feel a little more mature is not the right word, but less immature, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, there was obviously some goofy things. It's still gonna be a GTA game, but it wasn't anything that was like South Park level humor.
Right.
Anything like goofy like that. It felt a little more grounded than what I think you'd expect from a GTA, which again appeals more to me.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's what they're going for. It felt like I could have shown this trailer to someone, and kept the resolution low enough so maybe they didn't realize it's a video game, and I told them this was a new show coming to HBO. They might have actually believed it.
That's a good point.
It has that vibe to it.
Right. And yeah, I've played I think every GTA game. I didn't play a ton of 4 because I was from the era where I didn't have one of the leading consoles at the time, but it's like I played all the games, and yeah, they've all had some level of goofiness, like you mentioned. I think GTA 4 actually may be like the most serious of the bunch, if nothing else, for the main character being more serious than the other main characters. But yeah, even like, GTA 5 and the ones before with the GTA 3 trilogy all definitely were more tongue-in-cheek, and this one feels more like adventure. Whose song did they have in that initial reveal trailer? I forget. It was
what was it?
It was someone. So yeah, it's someone from the 70s, 80s, but like just that vibe that they were having, a little more maybe psychedelic. Tom Petty, thank you, chat.
Yeah, chat, thank you, chat.
That definitely set a different tone than the trailers that we saw for the other games. So yeah, I see what you mean there. And again,
that's the other thing too. So I know this isn't 80s Vice City, but because it is Vice City had such a good soundtrack. And if they could kind of capture some of that, at least have I want that like in the in-game radio stations, that 80s channel that has all that like kind of stuff you associate with old school Vice City, because I love 80s music like that. That's my jam.
Right, so it's gonna fit the vibes, even if it's like modern day.
Cruising around at night with the neon, listen to that music. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hell yeah! Like I said, it continues to look good, and I continue to be excited for it. We'll see it come out a day before my birthday. AJ is when that game comes out, so happy birthday to me! I'm gonna have a fun weekend there.
Very exciting. Well, hey, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to some super chats, and then we will get to our topic this evening. We're going to do the Mount Rushmore of GTA clones after this break. And we're back.
Oh.
Anyone? Yeah. Shout out to GFW Radio. All right, let's get into some super chats, please, Jonathan.
You got it, AJ. First up, from Slain McAwesome, Grub and AJ. They didn't know it was going to be Sean and AJ. What is Mike Minotti's fucking deal?
Let me tell you. Look, he's the middle child, and he gives off big middle child energy. You've all heard him say it, and it's not a joke. This was the family saying, if Mikey ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Yeah,
it's just the fact of life,
as we have all learned over the years. Yeah. So just always been that way, just inescapable.
Well, he complained the loudest, so it was just easiest to keep him happy. I complained the least, so I had to go ask for no pickles on his sandwich when they screwed up his order.
I see. And then now he carries that energy for Jeff, as we saw in Blue Sky the other day. He asked for. Okay, next up is from Dat Boy Jerry. Grub, I apologize, Jerry. Grub, I know you can't get into details, but listening to former GB staff comments on a situation last week, there's one thing everyone seems to agree on. Jan is the fucking man. You know what? Jan is the fucking man.
We can all agree on that.
We all know that, yeah. Like Jan,
pretty universal fact.
Yeah, universally, Jan is the glue that holds everything together wherever he is.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we fuck with Jan. Sign from Saskatchewan. Because he's not here, what is Mike's worst take that's not commonly brought up? You'd think he'd get shoot hot about if you confronted him about it. Something that we don't usually give him shit for. That if we did give him
here's
shit
one
for.
that you guys could dig on him. Maybe this isn't too controversial, but he will get pissy about it. Mm-hmm. He hates the movie Brave. Absolutely hates it. And I think it's fine. The Pixar movie where the redhead and the mom there. He hates that movie.
Why? Does he have a thing against gingers? Like, what the hell did that movie do?
Here's the thing. His argument is not invalid. He's not wrong. It's a very small movie. It doesn't go a lot of places. There's literal waypoints that take the characters where they need to go. And it's just kind of predictable. But I think it's a very pretty movie. There's some good themes. I told him it hits a little more as a parent. I think that maybe I get a little more out of it than he does, and that's fine. But he's not willing to hear any argument in favor of this movie. He just hates it.
I see. I watched it once and I thought it was fine, but I'll make sure to bring it up when it comes back. Simon back again. Video description from a legit Canadian news site. Bizarre traffic stop in Ohio sees pet raccoon holding meth pipe. The pipe was in a sheets bag.
I saw this headline in the photo, actually. I thought it was fake. I didn't know that was real. So, Ohio, we're wacky.
Apparently.
That's the raccoon, Keeping it real out there.
Is that why the kids are making fun of y'all? Like you're all like doing math in the streets and in the back of a sheets.
I mean, Pennsylvania's been making some inroads lately, but it's still between us and Florida.
Okay,
absolutely.
rounding out the trio from Simon here, I went back and rewatched, oh god, the waifu episode. Many great line reads in that one. Mike saying she's got some good milkers is an all-timer. Thoughts, AJ? We killed it.
A reminder that Mike Minotti's family does listen to his content.
Hi, Chris. How you doing? Good lord. I thought we all agreed to bury that one. I thought we all agreed to take it out back. Oh,
more star systems and waifus will slip through your finger.
Yeah. You did give them the episode number last time, so they can now went back.
See this big shiny red button? Don't push it.
From Darksteel Brushwag, I have watched the waifu episode. I don't understand why it's so controversial. I thought this was a Gooner safe community. New one for patrons only? What is our reputation out there? What?
That could be a patron perk. I'll tell Jeff. They'll do waifu weekly, exclusive for Patreon subscribers.
Oh god, Christian,
what's the alliteration?
What's the update, Christian? How many patrons do we need for waifu episode 2?
No, I said next week. I was going to do it this week, but no, let's reveal the number next week.
Okay, so that's right.
I want Mike and Chef to be here for this.
For that,
keep them in suspense. Chat, a Gooner website is not the same as sex positive outlet. Christ alive. Brian Corliss, have y'all seen that 999 times car speed run of GTA 4? Oh, so you speed it up like 1,000 times. Some of the funniest Benny Hill bullshit I've seen in a while. Love y'all.
I do like a good Benny Hill joke.
Yeah, you put the Benny Hill music on while cars are zooming around. Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but it sounds like it would be a fun time. Darksteel Brushwag is back. Claire Obscure is so good, it gives me hope for the future of gaming. Yeah, AJ, you've been playing Expedition 33?
Yeah, I'll talk about it now. So I haven't done anything new too much to say. I've just been plugging away at it. I haven't played as much as I liked in last week. We had commencement at work, so it was a busy weekend. But I really hope between this and hopefully if Mafia hits, we see the value and we see the financial viability of smaller studios making more, I don't want to say smaller games, but more scoped out properly games that can succeed at a $50, even $60 price point. I'm willing to pay $60 for these games if they're good. 30 hours is a phenomenal length for an RPG for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope the success of this game has some ripple effect on the industry where people realize we don't need 5 years and 1,000 people to make the $70 game that frankly ends up feeling like 80% filler. I'd rather have a more focused, more economically created game that still looks and plays fantastically.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. Just having something that's a little, frankly, less ambitious in scope. Just having something that they know they want to make a smaller project. They make a smaller project. And it's still quality. It's absolutely still quality because they just focused. A focus project, I think is the word I would use. But also, it is filled with stuff to do. That main story is 30 hours, but there is like a whole bunch of side questy stuff if you want to do it. And I think the way they made the game feels like they made the world they wanted to make, but they made a very clear and defined through lines, beginning to end. That is just a quality time. And then they put in other stuff that they wanted to in order to flesh out the world. It just feels like a well-made game. I think when you have these like people who have come from our studios coming together to this new studio and making the game they want to make, that's what you get. So yeah, definitely a fantastic game, and I agree. It gives me hope that in the I guess AA space is where I would put this. Is future's bright, just like with indies nowadays.
Yeah, you're right. It's AA, but it's better than what we call AA. Well, now that we have quadruple A, I guess AA has upgraded.
It's moved up a tier, exactly.
We had quintuple A's with the pirate game. Remember that the Ubisoft
That's right. That was the quadruple A game. Look how successful that is.
We have yet to get to.
Oh, that was a quad.
Yeah, we'll get there someday. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
let's go.
Any day now.
From Draw Comics, what's your favorite kind of pizza? Detroit, New York, or Pope style deep dish?
I see what you did there. That's
nice.
Still like Youngstown pizza, but there's not a Pope in Youngstown, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Hold up, back up. What the hell is Youngstown pizza? What does that mean?
Youngstown pizza is different from the other pizzas used. It's closest to Detroit as far as the crust goes, but we don't do that like edge to edge with the cheese all the time. And it's round. You make it with like more of a traditional Sunday sauce instead of like your kind of more like the fresh tomato based pizza sauce you get in New York. And the true Youngstown pizza is a Briar Hill pizza. This is a pizza where you got your Sunday sauce, you have just Romano cheese and bell peppers. And it is fantastic.
Take your word for it on that one.
Someday you're gonna come here. We're gonna get you some good pizza. None of this DiGiorno shit.
Get you good pizza in the middle of Ohio. Yeah, I'm sure. As opposed to a land of cheese and meat.
I need you to just trust me on this one. We have so many good local pizza places here that will knock your socks off.
Okay. I will say, I probably do actually like out of all those New York the best. I've never been a fan of the Chicago deep dish. I had like the really good, as people call it, Chicago deep dish the last time I was in town for Combo Breaker. I just wasn't really that impressed. I just don't see the appeal of it. It wasn't bad, but
I've had it once. I mean, it's good, but it's not like I like pizza because like I could eat 2 or 3 pieces and be good. But if I'm like drunk at a party, I could eat like a whole fucking pizza and have a great time. I cannot eat that much Chicago deep dish pizza without hating myself.
It's like
delicious,
lasagna, more in pizza,
but it will kill you. It's like John Stewart says, it's a casserole.
Yeah, it's a casserole. There you go. Perfect.
That Sunday sauce looks so good. I want that stuff so bad.
From Absurd Ziggy, One Love, Grubs, Minotts, Sean, and Kristen. Thank Carter and the Queen. We finally have a Pope again. This time from Joyzy.
Oh, that's right. Is he originally from Jersey? I think it was. I don't know.
I don't know where that guy is from. He's spoken Spanish, so to me he's Peruvian. I don't know. In my book, he like.
It is weird that it's just an American Pope. Like so much like growing up to me, like the Pope was so associated with Italy. Like I just assumed they had to be Italian. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just some dude.
El Grug. Yeah. What's up, Christian?
No, sorry. The delay is crazy. Sorry, I was just. It's the moment's gone. Please continue.
Okay. From El Grug, as Jeff, I'm from Ohio Grub, has renounced Detroit style, Dan Campbell, the concept of hockey, and his brother Jason. Does AJ accept him as a fellow Ohioling, or will Jeff have to convert to Indianan?
Oh no, Jeff's an Ohio boy. He spent enough time in Columbus and now Cleveland to be one of us. He's got that
you accept him,
that je ne sais quoi of the Ohioite. Ohioan. I don't know what we call ourselves.
I think it's Ohioan. I think Mike has.
I think Ohioan. Now that I've said it out loud, that's what he is.
He's got the Ohio stank on him now. You can't get rid of him now.
Yes, you really can't get rid of that.
From Taco Belmont, that's a good name. In celebration of Chicago Pope, here's a hot dog on me. Chicago style is undefeated. Nesh. And I agree, Chicago style hot dogs are fantastic.
I've never had a Chicago style hot dog, but I don't know if I want that much stuff on my hot dog.
Oh, it all comes together so well, though. That's the thing. It all complements the dog.
I mean, I again, this is the Cleveland boy. I mean, I just want a hot dog with ballpark mustard and nothing else. I don't even like relish or onions or anything.
Nah, that's a Minotti. That's a Minotti take right there. It's weird because it's like you're not adding anything crazy. I guess like the peppers, if you want them.
There's a whole pickle on there.
Well, you can have it like that. It's also like, I guess it does come by default with tomato. I forget that because I don't like tomato.
And I love tomato.
I don't like tomato. I get without tomato, but like the pickle, the peppers, the dressings, and like the poppy seed bun and everything. I don't know. For some reason, it like complements everything so well. I like it. I like it a lot, especially that like the neon green relish and everything.
I just never appealed to me, but maybe I got to give it a shot. I am open to the idea.
Big Nicky Alberto dropped a super chat with no message, but thank you. We appreciate it. El Grug is back. Is it weird that this podcast now has 100% less boomer energy than it usually does, even though AJ is older than Mike? Keep up the good work, guys. Hopiness.
It's because Jeff is so much older than me.
Is that even true? Aren't you like a year older than him? He's
a year older than me. Like 300 some days. That's a lot of days.
Okay, I see. Yeah, you're talking like when Dan would always yell at Bacalar about being so old. Willow Davis, best episode yet. Jeff and Mike would be proud. R.I.P. I appreciate that one. I don't know about best episode yet.
Their spirit will live on, I guess.
Yeah, we'll carry the torch.
The best is yet to come.
Big Fresh 37. Big Fresh 37. Got that Crazy Taxi 3 tweaks, but still won't boot. Oh, interesting. I don't know why that would be. I will say that CT3 tweaks.
I meant to try this when you talk about it, but I haven't gotten around to it.
It's finicky because you're like modding a really old PC version. So I don't know. Any number of things could be wrong there. Anytime you're doing a project like this, I would just recommend like starting from square one if you're having issues. Okay. From input video here, Sean, now is your chance to talk about how Blueprints is bad before the boomer hosts return. Look, I don't think it's bad. It's not for me. It's not my kind of puzzle game, you know? Like, it's AJ, have you been playing Blueprints at all?
Yes, I kind of fell off it when Oblivion and Expedition 33 came out. I do want to get back to it. I haven't rolled credits yet. I want to at least roll credits. I don't know if I'm going to put like 200 hours into it like people have, but I want to beat it once.
Okay. Christian, are you playing it?
No, I'm not. It's too many games out there, so I can if I play this game, it's gonna take over my life because I'm a sicko for that kind of game. So I'm just waiting for more calm times.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gotcha. From Baba's me, Mike sure seems smarter and Jeff much younger tonight. Thanks for doing this, boys. Look, we're trying to hold it down. YouTube wants to get in our way. Discord wants to get in our way. The DiGiorno Pizza Company wants to get in our way. But god damn it, we're still bringing you a podcast tonight.
We will not be silenced.
That's right. From Endo Viking, we have Mike Minotti and Jeff Grubb at home. Look, I don't know how I should take that, but
I mean, we are home while they're off traveling doing fun stuff.
That's true. While they get paid to do all the fun stuff. From Hex Professor.
He's just on vacation.
Oh, I don't know. I think he's in Disney's pocket at this point. From Hex Professor.
I wish we were in Disney's pocket.
My screen's a little blurry. You two sound different. Are you sick? Well, hopefully you get well soon. We're a little different than in the usual crew, but not too much, right?
Nah, I'll just do my Mike Minotti voice, and you'll just never know the difference. Because I'm Mike Minotti. I don't like apples. They're wet and gross.
Sound just like him. From Big Nicky Alberto, Jeff Grubb is still a threat. I've been listening for a long time, but I've never watched. But damn, do all the boys in Mitch's family look the same and so handsome.
Aw, you old softy.
The family resemblance in the Minottis though is kind of uncanny, you know, like it is wild how much you guys look the same, and then like Chris is the same with hair.
Yeah, well, I always say if it's just me and Chris or Mike and Chris, you're like, yeah, they look similar. But when we're all three together, it's like, oh, Mike and AJ look like identical, and then who's Chris? Like his differences become more apparent when we're all three with each
other. From Willow Davis, which apple would you force Mike to eat if you could? I'm a big fan of the Granny Smith.
I'd give no, but see, like if I gotta make him eat one, I want him to potentially like it. So I'll go with Honeycrisp because it's like easy. Like Granny Smith, that's too intense for your first in 30 some years apple.
Yeah, it's like the sour hits so good though. But yeah, you gotta start them off small. Start them off.
I like a good Granny Smith, but yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a candy apple. Let's take it easy.
I'm going with caramel first. Make him think that's candy. Yeah. Let's see here from Poke Egg. Is this less of the Nintimu dogs? Much love, Enor. Because we're the knockoffs, AJ. You see.
I see what you did there. How dare you? We're the Rakuten dogs, at least. Okay.
Let's see. Jordan is up next. Thanks for running the show tonight, boys. Check out the Zotac Zone handheld sometimes. I love my OLED, dual touchpads, surprisingly great D-pad, and Windows for my GOG library, and bad Destiny 2 habit. I don't think I've ever heard of the Zotac Zone before. Have you, AJ?
I don't think I have either. Interesting.
I'll have to check it out sometime. Let me Google it real quick here.
No, yeah, it does kind of look Steam Deck-esque.
Mr. BLTs, do we think the Xbox version of this ROG will be available at GameStop/Best Buy? Being an Xbox item, I wonder if GameStop will get it this time.
I think so. Is the current one at GameStop? I mean, anywhere the current ones are, I expect to find this one also.
I've seen the current one at Best Buy, I believe.
I've seen it at Best Buy. I know on their website they have it. I mean, Steam has the benefit of being on Steam, which just gives you such a big built-in audience. I think this thing needs a big box presence, so they'll probably be there.
Okay. Yeah, I think if it has the Xbox co-marketing, they're going to try to put as many places as it can be. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do see it at those big retailers and probably Amazon everywhere as well. I'd imagine they'll put as many places as possible.
Yep.
All right, from Phantom23. Hope everyone can check out Maze Mice. It just started early access and it's Pac-Man meets Vampire Survivors with super hot time. Interesting.
That sounds exciting.
That does sound like an exciting combination. Let me check the Steam page for this. Let's see, what is it? Maze Mice.
I typed Maze Mace, and that's why I wasn't finding it. I found some Minecraft item instead. I was like, what is this?
Oh, thanks. Siri pulled it up for me. That's really what I wanted there.
A Bullet Heaven roguelite. That's interesting.
Interesting. It's got pixel art and everything.
I don't think it's what it is, but I'm getting weird Choo Choo Rocket vibes from it for some reason.
Oh yeah, from the art style and how. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Just a little bit. Just cats chasing a mouse around. I think that's all it takes.
Looks cute. I'll check it out later. I think it's a budget game, so might be a good pickup.
Add to wish list. Oh, it's a demo. I'll download the demo.
Nice.
Okay.
From Diogo RP, question for AJ as newfound love for football. Did you watch the Barcelona/Inter game?
No, I didn't. So I'm still expanding slowly here. So I'm very into the Premier League. I'm watching MLS when I can. I'm a Columbus Crew supporter. But I haven't gotten into the other leagues heavily yet. Obviously, if like Liverpool's playing in the Champions League or stuff like that, I watch those games. But like, yeah, I didn't watch. Who did Paris Saint-Germain just beat?
Internazionale.
Yeah, but who they just take out?
Barcelona, didn't they?
No,
sorry, I'm out of the loop.
Who did PSG just beat?
Oh, PSG.
Yeah, Sean, you enjoying yourself? Versus hockey, now it's soccer. Arsenal. Was it Arsenal?
You guys are on your own over there.
Yeah.
Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Arsenal.
Okay.
Yeah, beat them 2-1.
Sorry, everybody.
So yeah, like I said, I didn't watch that game to see what would happen once Liverpool was out. I was done. But as I get more, the chat had me. Once I get more and more time to kind of settle into these things, I do want to watch more and more. Because I tell you what, I enjoy watching it more than any other sport except for maybe baseball. As far as
you're a big
spectator
baseball
sport
fan?
On television. Oh, huge! All the Benattis are baseball fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Mike was into it, but I know if all you guys were. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like baseball in person, but like watching on TV and I'm listening on the radio. Not as big of a fan.
All right, quick story to everybody. So yeah,
what's up?
Mike's big baseball fan now, but when we were kids, we went to a lot of games in the mid '90s when the Indians were the best team in baseball. We just couldn't win a damn World Series. So our dad's a doctor, and there was a pretty common practice where drug reps from pharmaceutical companies would just basically bribe doctors. And one of the common things they would do is they would rent out the loges at sporting events. And the catch was during the 6th inning, my dad had to go watch a PowerPoint. Mm-hmm. But they got to go to these games, and he would refuse to go if they didn't provide tickets for his family. So we went to multiple games a season in a private catered loge with unlimited food and incredible seats, and we'd watch these baseball games. And we would take my grandfather with us because he's big baseball guy. He's the one who taught me the game and the love of the game. So he and I are sitting there this is great. Look at the Indians. There's Kenny Lofton. There's Mike. inside the loge, not watching the game on his damn Game Boy because he didn't care about baseball. He is so disgusted with himself that he like squandered this opportunity when we had it. Because they don't do that anymore. It turns out that's kind of illegal. But back then it was fair game. It's great.
The good old days, as they call them.
Yes.
Next up,
indeed.
From IDKI, Turboomer Sean. Yeah, I'm certainly feeling like it tonight. I've got all the Jeff isms. I was late to the podcast. I wasn't paying attention. My internet shitting the bed in the middle of the show. It's great. We're having a great time right here.
Going well.
True to the name. True to the name. From Big Nicky Alberto, who made the spaghetti for this video I have to find? Oh, for the Bitmob one you mentioned.
I probably did. I cook. I actually cook quite a bit, and I have cooked for a long time. Yes, for the Mafia 2 one. No, I finally think I've nailed down my sauce recipe. The last time I made sauce was probably the best I made it. Same with my meatballs. They got a little overcooked because I set the one setting on my cooker wrong that I was using, so they were a little not as tender as I would have liked my balls. But the flavor on my balls was on point. You guys can have that one for free.
Clean read.
You're welcome.
From Empanada Eater, AJ, how proud are you of Mike for writing Cosmic Rewind?
All right, everyone, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to want to listen to this episode of 90s Disney, and you're going to want to listen to this story, because this was the one phone call I've gotten on this trip, and I laughed my ass off. That's your tease for the bonus episode of 90s Disney that'll come out sometime next week.
Okay. Mikey O'Leary, the day after your birthday, more like Grand Theft Shawno.
Hey!
Nailed in one, Mikey. The day before. If I misspoke, it's the day before my birthday. From Matt Rare Monkey, Halo Community Night this Saturday. That's right. Matt and some folks, I think Firehair and people are setting up Halo Infinite Night if you are in the Game Mess Discord. So definitely get in there if you're a patron, a YouTube member, or anything like that, and hang out with everyone. I might try to stop in if I have time. I'm often busy on the weekends nowadays, but if I have time, I think I'll try squeeze in.
Yeah, we'll be around Saturday night, but we did those closer to launch, and it was a good time. So yeah, you guys should all participate. I like Halo Infinite still.
I'm offended they didn't believe in me that I was going to remind people to do that, but it's okay. I was going to do that at the end of the podcast, but that's fine.
Better safe than sorry, Christian.
That's right. From Patrick Ford, cheers, boys. Just learned that Sean and I share a birthday. Hey, what's up? And Liverpool just came up. Champs, baby. YNWA.
You'll never walk alone.
Oh my God! Look at that. Audio listeners, he has a scarf
ready to go
and everything. Oh my God, you're fully in on this now. This has become part of the AJ personality, huh?
It really has. I really do love it. I have to say, I'm surprised, honestly, at how much I love it. Like, my wife didn't believe me for like the first 2 years, but I think even she's like, okay, this is one of your weird quirks now.
All right. From Bander SN, I saw Thunderbolts. Am I supposed to pronounce the asterisk on Thunderbolts, or is it just Thunderbolts?
I think you're good.
Okay. I saw Thunderbolts this past week. Does anyone else think Sean looks like Bob? I have not seen Thunderbolts. I don't know who Bob is.
I want to see it. I'm hearing good things. Maybe once Mike and Chris are back in town, we'll sneak out for an evening and see it.
Okay. I'll let chat tell me if I do in fact look like Bob. From Chuktowski, damn, Mike got handsomer.
It's the red, the contacts.
The lack of glasses changes a Minotti forever.
It's like Superman.
From JD Camp, have you had Swedish banana curry pizza? It's kinda okay.
I know what this is. I've never had it, but I know. But it only just makes me think of that episode of Doug. There's a boomer reference for you. If you see that episode of Doug with the banana pizza, I always thought that might actually be good.
Was this in first run Doug or second run Doug?
Yeah, Nickelodeon Doug, not Disney
okay,
Doug.
That's why then, yeah, I never would have seen it because I never saw Nickelodeon Doug. I only saw it once it was on ABC. Gotcha.
That's too bad.
So I hear. I didn't realize there was such a huge difference. People had to like teach me this. From Inky Mess, I need this Minotti cookbook, please. How much?
Someday. I've always, if I had the time, I want to do like a cooking YouTube channel or TikTok channel or something so bad, but it's just, I don't have the time. Don't.
Yeah.
I want to, but I don't. I tried filming a proof of concept where I did these really good smoked chicken drumsticks, but you ever see the lollipop chicken where you take the chicken and you like smush the meat down, you cut off so the bones expose and looks like a little lollipop. You smoke it, you dunk it in a pineapple barbecue glaze. It's delicious. I filmed as a proof of concept and it took way too much effort. I was like, nah, I can't do this every time I cook dinner.
Yeah, meanwhile I'm over here popping some Tyson in the oven from the freezer. That's the extent of my chicken cooking.
If you all go to Barnes & Noble, you'll probably find this book. There's a book called Cooking with 4 Ingredients. I've still seen it in circulation. I bought a copy of this, my roommate and I. We were living together in college, our junior years, and that's how we learned to cook. We went through almost every recipe in that book. Then we bought Cooking with 5 Ingredients and went through that book, and that's how I learned to cook. It can be done.
Okay, just start slow, hey?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I do believe we are all caught up on super chats. Thank you for everyone.
Wow, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for still a lot of super chats coming in here, even even as things are settling down. Thanks for bearing with us as maybe something's crap in the bed on my end. We don't know. But I think, AJ, I'll toss it back to you. We want to go to a break and I'll get the game set up.
Yeah, let's take a little break. I'm going to go use the potty, I think, and then we will come back with our topic, the Mount Rushmore of GTA clones, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show where we are about to do the Mount Rushmore of GTA clones. Sean.
Yes.
I see you have a lovely little Google document for us.
I do.
Would you like to kick off the nominations?
Yeah, so when I think a GTA clone, first of all, are we going to say anything else that Rockstar has done in that vein as off limits? Like Bully?
Yeah,
do we count Bully? I think not, probably.
Bully,
right?
Red Dead. I think that's not in the spirit of what we're talking about.
Right,
here.
we're talking like some other studio.
To me, a GTA clone is something that's trying to be open world, in a modern setting that doesn't have the budget of a Rockstar game.
Right. So I'm thinking of that. I'm thinking of something like Sleeping Dogs came to mind.
Okay.
Which is one that I really like.
I haven't played a ton of that game, but what I put like a few hours into it, and I did see the appeal. It was a very well realized game.
Yeah, and also you see it all the time as Wario64 likes to post Sleepy Dogs, right?
Yeah, Sleepy Dogs. Sleepy Dogs. For me, I mean, the obvious franchise is the Saints Row franchise. The first 2 games never did it for me. They felt like just cheap knockoff GTAs that were trying too hard. Like the writing, like the I don't know, the drive-through restaurant called Freckle Bitches. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like what is that supposed to even mean? It's just you just said bitches because it's a bad word. But by the time they got to 3, the series kind of started to find its identity. I think 4 almost it almost overcorrected and got a little too into its nonsense. It was fun, but there's something about 3 and there goes YouTube. What really clicked for me with 3 was that mission where you skydive onto the rooftop party and it starts playing Power.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this game knows what it is now, and you have this cast of characters now who are actually becoming endearing. Their relationship is interesting, so yeah, I did enjoy Saints Row the 3rd.
All right, so we're putting the 3rd on there.
Yeah, let's get it on the list for now.
Okay, got it. Saints Row the 3rd.
The 3rd. What else you got?
Let me see. I'm trying to make sure I got the right one here. It would be The Simpsons Hit and Run is the GTA clone, right?
Yes, that is the one, and that is it's funny, I feel like when that game first came out, everyone was like, this is fine. But it just got like this cult following and everyone loves it now.
Yeah, I didn't get that into it myself, but I hear people talk about it all the time, say that it's like not quite hidden gem necessarily, because people definitely are aware of this game, at least now they are. But I hear them talk about it fondly in a way that makes me think that this was probably the game that a lot of people got when they were kids / teenagers when their parents wouldn't let them get GTA, right?
Mhm. It's also it's that emulation effect where if you bought this for $50, you're probably meh. But when you just download and throw it on Dolphin, it's a good time.
That's true too. That's a good point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think Simpsons Hit and Run is a strong contender there.
Okay. Where do I want to go with this? Let's go with probably one of the more fun sandboxes we've had in an open world. Again, the series has had a lot of ups and downs. I think it peaked with Just Cause 2. That was the one where it really felt like that was a game that my friends and I played in like a couch multiplayer way, and purely what we would just do is it was almost like a game of horse. Like it'd be like, okay, let me show you what I could do, and you'd like jump a jeep off a cliff and land on a helicopter and fly that into a building, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well, fine, I'll do this, and you'd get like a motorcycle and fly off an airplane wing and onto another airplane, and we were just trying to one up each other's stunts, basically. It was a very fun physics playground for that purpose. I did enjoy Just Cause 2 quite a bit.
So you would put 2 on the list then?
I think 2's the one, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Just Cause 2. Perfect. This is another one I haven't played myself, but I hear people talk fondly about it. AJ, did you ever play Lego City Undercover?
No, but I've also heard people say the same. I mean, the problem was that it on the Wii U it had some technical roughness, but there was supposedly a good game underneath that surface. It's on Switch. I don't know what the Switch version's like, but no, I never have played it. But we can throw it up there as kind of a family friendly option. But
right,
I actually have a better entry, I think, for the family friendly. I don't know if any of you guys have played this. I haven't played it a lot myself, but there's a game on Apple Arcade that my kids played to death called Sneaky Sasquatch.
And it
literally is Grand Theft Auto for kids. You're a Sasquatch, and in the beginning of the game, you're just trying to it's very Yogi Bear. You're just trying to steal food from picnics, and the ranger's trying to put you back in your little cave. But eventually, you get a disguise, and now you could go into the town, and then you could take a car or a bike, and you could get a job and earn some money, and it just becomes GTA for kids. It's a really actually well done, well made game, and it's got a ton of updates over the years too.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely haven't heard of this one before, but it looks cute. Yeah, I was looking at some screenshots.
I don't know if it makes the mountain, but I did want to bring it up because I think it's a cool game that probably not a lot of core gamers know about. But if you have kids and you want something for them that's lets you express the creativity of a GTA in a safe environment, it's a good time.
Okay. I'm starting to run out on these, I'll be honest, AJ. I'm trying to think of more. I think of was the Scarface game, the movie game?
There was a Scarface movie tie-in game that was kind of a GTA like.
But even if that fits the bill, I'm not sure I would put it on there because I'm not sure that's
I played a little bit of the Scarface game, but what I played more of that I would put before it, I think, is the Godfather game they did that brought back some of the original cast even.
Oh, really?
That was actually once you kind of got over the goofiness of the premise that they were recreating one of the greatest films of all time in an open world GTA game, and you had a lot of these actors now 30 years older trying to redo these lines.
Yeah.
Once you got over that, it was actually pretty solid. It was not bad.
Okay. Do you think it has a chance of making the list? Is the question.
Probably not. I mean, put it in there as another example of a license game that kind of worked. I'm seeing people in chat say Mad Max, and that's another one. I think I bought a copy of it for $5 years ago and still haven't played it, but I know people like that one.
I also don't know if I would consider Mad Max a GTA clone specifically.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay.
I only played the first couple hours. I was like, yeah, this is fine, whatever. But it felt like an open world driving game more than it felt like a GTA clone, if nothing else, because it's the wasteland. It's not like you're getting into shenanigans in the city, right?
Yeah. Do you mess with any of the Watch Dogs games?
No, I did see chat mention that. I will say I loved Watch Dogs 2. I thought that was a very fun game. Maybe
I've never played 2. I only ever played 1.
Interesting.
I played a little. Maybe I played a little bit of 2. I might play. Yeah, 2 is the one I played. Was there like? I think it's the one that I got in this mission where I was like on the second floor of a motel in a shootout and I just couldn't beat it.
Well, okay, you would know which one you played because the first one is just Aiden Pierce, the like sad dad character, and the second one is entirely the like sort of like leet speak.
You can be like an old lady and then she has a heart attack and now you're...
That's Legion. That's the third one.
Okay.
2 is the one in the middle where it was these like college kids who like are way too in your face with the memes and stuff like that, but they're charming. Definitely. I think there's some interesting story beats too. I really like Watch Dogs 2. So I'll put it on the list.
We can throw it up there.
Watch Dogs 2. I'll put it on there for now.
LA Noire, I guess, would be I would call that a GTA like with a little more puzzle adventure game aspect to it, but that's a game. I really liked the first act of LA Noire when you're solving the Black Dahlia murder case. And then once that ended, where, spoilers for LA Noire, first it's like, oh, we can't arrest this killer. He's a senator's son. So all that work you just did was for nothing. And now we're going to take you off murder and put you on advice. And I was like, well, that's not as exciting as murder. And I immediately fell off the game. But I really did enjoy that first act.
Here's the thing about LA Noire, though. That is a Rockstar joint, and so
was it published by Rockstar? They didn't make it, right?
It was published, and I pulled up Wikipedia here to make sure it they did have development assistance from Rockstar. It was Team Bondi was the main team on it, but they did get help from their publishing partner Rockstar. So I would say that doesn't count.
Okay, then yeah, you're right. Strike it from the list.
Okay.
It's out of here.
But speaking of LA, another one that chat was pointing out that, I brain fired on, but I definitely think deserves to be talked about here. True crime. But I don't know if you put LA or New York.
I don't think I've ever played either of these.
Streets of New York. I'm pulling up some pictures here. I think is the one that I played back in the day. Yeah, I definitely remember that box art. Yeah, I think that's the one people talk about more as well. I think, and chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
that's probably LA.
Is it? I think that's New York.
Snoop would be in LA, wouldn't? I don't know.
You would imagine, but and people can tell me which one they think they like better. Oh, Streets of LA. I do remember like what I'm seeing here too. I'll just put True Crime on here, and people can let us know which one they think is better between the two.
Yeah. Okay. Iron Mike just reminded me of one that I can't believe I almost forgot about it because it's actually this might be my front runner. Is Crackdown.
I was wondering about that. That's another one where do we consider that a GTA clone?
Oh yeah, you're running in a city, you're driving a car, you're shooting bad guys, you're going on missions. Absolutely.
Okay, I only played a little bit of it, so I just associate it as being like the superhero game more than that.
I devoured Crackdown. Okay. I loved that game. Absolutely. The fun of finding those orbs. I thought the missions were actually kind of fun. They had that kind of almost Assassin's Creed element of like there's like these area bosses and you have to get to each of them however you see fit and yeah, that was good. I like Crackdown.
Okay, which one? Which one? The first one?
The first one. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. The rest are not great. The first one though was special.
All right, got it. I am struggling to think of any more major ones. Do you have any ones that you want?
I see chat throwing a few more out there. Do you call Shenmue a GTA like?
First of all, it would be weird, like, if we're saying GTA clone to call Shenmue a GTA clone, considering, like...
No, I know.
Yes, GTA came first, but, like, it came before GTA 3. No, I think that's its own thing. It's just like...
Yeah, I think you're right.
I saw chat kind of debating Yakuza.
It's like Yakuza.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and I think both of those are sort of, like, in their own in their own little corner of gaming as separate from GTA, just because kind of open world or open ended, and you can go around doing various things throughout a city, like dense with people to talk to. I'm not sure that's what makes a GTA clone, as much as it being like mission oriented. Oftentimes, yeah, you are like driving around a city, stuff like that. Did we didn't even put a Mafia game on here yet, even though we talked about it earlier in the show.
I was thinking about it, and I was trying to, I mean, I know I played the first two, but boy, I don't remember a lot about them. I just remember the one mission where you had to, like, a car chase started in the first game, so it's like, you know, those early 19-teens cars, and this really goofy, like, accordion track started playing. That's my great memory of Mafia 1.
Right. I guess my problem is that I don't remember it fondly. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if they hang. I mean, you could put it on the list, but I don't know if it makes the mountain.
I'll put a Mafia on there just in case.
Mafia 2. I think that's the sentiment. Is the 2 is the one that should go on there.
Is it the number 2, like Roman numeral 2? I think it's Roman numeral.
Yeah, I think it's just a normal 2, right?
Is it? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It's not sticking around. It's up there for representation.
All right. Do we have any suggestions from the Discord, or do we not get that up in time?
I don't believe we got that.
No, for Mount Rushmore, we don't do suggestions.
I couldn't remember. I know,
we used to do, and then we stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do, and then we stopped.
Okay, I guess if chat has any other ones that they want to throw up, we're keeping an eye on y'all.
Yeah, speak now if ever hold your peace. And if something speaks to me, I'll. Red Faction Guerrilla is not bad. Red Faction is better. Is Red Faction really a GTA like? I don't know.
From what I remember of that, I would not say so. No.
And Spider-Man 2, again, I see the argument for it, Mikey, but again, it's not. It's open world, but it's not GTA. You know, you're not driving around and doing crimes.
Yeah. Here's another one
Wheelman, Driver.
Yeah, another one that I didn't play as much as Driver. I don't think that really fits the bill either, does it?
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of it either.
Because that's more explicitly about the driving, is it not? Rather than like mission, like on foot stuff in addition.
Right.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, Infamous falls in that same category as Spider-Man. It's more of an open world superhero game than a GTA. And I know Crackdown toes that line, but I think Crackdown is more of a superhero GTA game.
That's what I thought Crackdown was. Yeah.
A lot of people saying Cyberpunk. Again, that doesn't.
Cyberpunk rides the line, I think, a little bit.
I see the argument for it again, but I don't think it's in quite the same spirit either. I don't. It's like porn. I know it when I see it. You know? What can I say?
Cyberpunk is in fact like porn. I can say that much with damn certainty.
Yeah, that too.
But it is so much like, I think some people don't want to see it this way. Cyberpunk is so much of an RPG that I don't think it's quite what we're looking for when we say GTA clone.
There's too much RPG. GTA is not an RPG.
Nah, yeah. I think that's all the major ones, and yeah, in case anyone missed it, we're not doing a Rockstar one, so we're not doing Bully or Red Dead.
All right, I think we gotta whittle this down. So,
okay, do you see any locks? Any ones that immediately you say like this is the like one of those that people talk about?
I think when you think GTA clone, I think you think Saints Row. I think that's for me the first thing that enters my head. So in a goofy way, I think, and ironic given the plot of the fourth game, I think it is the George Washington in this case.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to say it's Washington because I think at least I can see one that I think came before it that I think sort of set the stage for some of this stuff, but I definitely think I can see it, up there with the other ones.
At least the Jefferson.
Yeah. The one that I think would be more the Washington would be Simpsons Hit and Run.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is one that, like I mentioned earlier, people remember fondly from their childhoods because they couldn't play GTA. I think it holds up from what I've played. It's still like pretty fun, janky because like, PS2 game and people were still like figuring some stuff out in those earlier days of 3D. But I think that one's still fun. I think Simpsons makes the list, but maybe we can talk about it more.
I think Simpsons is up there too. I think that has a fond remembrance, and people like that game. I think for me, I really kind of want to get Crackdown on there. That again, that was just the most fun world to move around in and explore and play. Like it was the most fun to play. You know, it wasn't as much of like the kind of immersive sim aspect of it. It had all that, you know, they had traffic and pedestrians and stuff to do, but just getting around the city, actually playing the game, that was a lot of fun in that game.
Okay. And again, this one is a blind spot for me because I didn't really play Crackdown, but it is in that vein of like driving around mission oriented and stuff. You just also have superhero powers.
You can just jump really, really high.
Okay, which also Saints Row would have as well. So I guess I can see the argument there. Okay.
Right.
All right. So let's say we do put Crackdown on as well. Then what is number 4?
I think, and I don't mean to dominate the list here, but I think the one that's probably the best game. And I think I see this sentiment in chat. I think it goes to Sleepy Dogs.
Now you see, I put that one on there, so I'm not necessarily going to argue that point, because I do think Sleeping Dogs is the one that is sort of seen as the hidden gem out of a lot of these. Watch Dogs 2 as well, but I think people also recognize the flaws in Watch Dogs 2. Whereas Sleeping Dogs is just a damn good game that I think got massively overlooked because it's not called GTA. But see, it's interesting. Do you know the history of this, where it was originally supposed to be a true crime game?
Yeah, true crime.
Streets of Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong. I was about to say Shanghai. I was like, that's not right. Wrong Disneyland.
So I was thinking about Streets of LA because of how fondly people talk about it. I'm like, Sleeping Dogs technically does carry that lineage. So if we put that one on there, I'm gonna be happy. You nominated it, so I think you would be happy with this one. So Sleeping Dogs is the fourth one?
So that brings us to the Mount Rushmore of GTA clones is Sleeping Dogs, Saints Row the Third, Simpsons Hit and Run, and Crackdown. I'm pretty happy with that. How about you?
I think that looks right. I'm looking at the ones that we left off, like Mafia, Just Cause, Watch Dogs, and True Crime. I think we got the representatives that are a combination of more fondly remembered and like the best games that we can put out there. And you know what, AJ? I think that makes for a good Mount Rushmore. And I think
we did it.
I think we've made a better Mount Rushmore than those two jerks ever could have.
No, they wouldn't even gotten close to this. Not even close.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll hear in the comments. I'm sure we'll read in the chat if we got it wrong. But I think that is a
I think this is the week where everyone's gonna agree.
Everyone's gonna agree. Like,
everyone's gonna be like, good list.
You're not gonna have like the Jack 2 super fans come on and say, "Why did you put Jack 2 on the list?"
I gotta admit, I played Jack 2. I don't remember much about Jack 2.
I
didn't realize Jack it was 2. A GTA like, so okay.
I like Jack 2. I wish it wasn't a GTA like. I wish Naughty Dog hadn't played GTA 3 right before making that game. All right, cool.
All right, well, let's take one more quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about what we've been playing, get to the last of the super chats, and then we will get the heck out of here.
Sounds good.
And we are back to the show. Sean, what you been playing this week?
I have been playing, I mentioned most of what I've been playing over on Nintendo, so I won't repeat myself too much. But yeah, Combo Breaker is at the end of the month, and I want to get better. In the only game I'm playing will be Street Fighter 6 there, so I've been playing more Street Fighter 6, getting ready. I find Mai very fun, so I'm just trying to, reteach myself the game there, get back in the swing of things, and then, of course, get better with the new character that I'm playing. Checked out the Sakura Wars 2 fan translation that people put out, that old Sega Saturn game. I loved the first game. I love that fan translation. I'm super happy that now 2 got its fan translation. Good Steam Deck game, but what kind of replaced it? So maybe I'll get back to it. Like, maybe I get back to that once I get a Mister of some variety. It may hook you up to the CRT back there, because the Steam Deck game I am playing now mostly is 100 Line. Last Defense Academy. And yeah, it's just the past couple of nights I got even further in the story, and like I can't say too much, but again, the way they're talking about like what's real, what isn't, like how is this person, and their relationship with us can we trust them? There's a lot of the Zero Escape series in here, in addition to all the Danganronpa, and so I think I think it's going places that I'm very excited about. I've seen like people drop little hints of what's to come on Blue Sky that I'm very excited to see where it goes next. But it's also just a fun strategy game. So Grand Steam Deck, I'm sure it's Grand Switch as well. What about you, AJ?
I've added the demo to my library.
There you go.
Yeah. I mentioned still playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Just absolutely love that game. What I like about it is for a turn-based RPG, I did one of the fights where it's one of those really tall things. This one had 2 other monsters with it, and it's like, yes, I had to figure out the strategy of like what order I wanted to attack these things in and figure out their weaknesses, but then there was also that component of like, I need to learn how to read its attacks so I know when to dodge and when to parry, and like, I want to parry these, oh no, I took some hits, I'm low on health, I better dodge to be safe now even though I'm missing out on damage, and it took a few tries, but then when I did beat it, it felt incredible. So it's really stunning how, I mean, we've had active hits since Super Mario RPG, but they just feel so much more, I don't know, satisfying, I guess, in this game in a way it feels beyond just timing a hit. It feels like more active than that. And
well, I mean, it also is more active in the sense of like dodging, parrying, and doing the other parries that they give you.
Real time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mentioned, I think that game is fantastic. I did finish it last week, and I think the story is one of those where I really want more people to finish so I can talk about the ending and where the story goes in the final act and everything. But yeah, the combat is so satisfying, especially once you start getting the big damage, once you start getting the multi-hits and everything like that. It can be a fun little puzzle for that you like put on yourself and then solve to figure out how to get through these combat scenarios quickly, which is also something that like in Persona, which because they like Persona, the devs obviously put a lot of that in here as well.
Yeah. Star Wars Day was this Sunday. I always like to celebrate as best I can. So I did 2 things. First, in Monster Hunter, I posted these in my Blue Sky if you want to go check it out. I copied it from Reddit. I had to make some modifications, but I made both an X-Wing fighter suit for my hunter and Jedi robes that I thought looked pretty good, actually. So that was fun. I didn't have the right boots because that guy bought the DLC, and I wasn't going to pay $8 for boots for my X-Wing jumpsuit. So I found different boots, good boots. But then I also did fire up. You guys talked about it on the show. I think they talked about it a couple weeks ago. Was Star Wars Starfighter. This was originally released for the Xbox. Did get a port to PS2 and PC, and I have it on Steam, which is good because I don't know if it didn't have proper joystick support or gamepad support back in 2003 or whatever. But fortunately, there's a community binding in Steam to get the controls working and making sense in a good way. So I played through the first few missions of that, and that game, there's something about the UI of that game. It was very it had a glow to it that was very cool at the time. It still looks really good now.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I obviously the Rogue Squadron games are great, and this was kind of cut from that same cloth, but still stood out as something unique in its own. And I think it's funny, especially with the announcement of what's the Respawn game's name? The tactics game. I forget the title of it.
Oh, right. It's something that's kind of like XCOM if you squeeze it together. I don't remember though.
But I think we're entering this weird period now where we're gonna start having prequel nostalgia. So like between that game being set in the prequels and this game being set, I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's go back to that era a little bit and have some fun.
Zero Squad, Zero Company, because ZCOM.
Oh, there you go.
That's right, Zero coming.
Jedi Starfighter is the better game. That never got a PC port though. I do have it on my PlayStation when they did that re-release.
Yeah.
That game rules. I love Jedi Starfighter. It was funny. I bought Bounty Hunter, the re-release they did of that because it was on sale. I didn't get around to firing up that night, and then the next day I saw the Humble Bundle for the month of May, and Bounty Hunter was in it. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna refund that $10 and just wait till my Humble Bundle renewal goes through so I can get that code. So I'll get to Bounty Hunter later this month. It's funny, I don't remember playing much of Bounty Hunter, so I'm kind of excited to actually play it because I remember at the time everyone thought it was just okay, but there's this huge wave of nostalgia for when they did that re-release. So I'll check it out.
I think you're right. I think there's definitely nostalgia for the prequels in general right now, not just because there's maybe a little bit of redemption of that era through other media, but I think because like people my age are now nostalgic for that period, regardless of if you liked the prequels or not. So, you know, and people my age, you know, in our like late 20s, early 30s are starting to be a demographic that they're trying to target because you know, this generation is starting to have kids and they're getting their kids into Star Wars. And so they might try to get their kids into like some of the prequel stuff again, regardless of like what aspect, because of whether or not they liked it. But I think you're onto something there.
So fun story about Star Wars Day and getting your kids into it. So, my kids have they've been around Star Wars. Obviously they live with me. But they've never actually have sat through a Star Wars movie front to back yet. So I told them, I said, guys, you know, for Star Wars Day this year, I don't have to work that day. I'm going to be home. I am going to watch A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Whoever wants to join me is more than welcome. I just ask that, you know, we actually sit and watch it if you're in the room. And my daughter Sophia was all about it. She was like, yeah, I want to watch these with you. And she, you know, was super into the movies. You know, we're going through the, you know, the trench run, you know, Han Solo shows up. She cheered. I was like, this is great. And we start Empire and I'm thinking to myself, I go, wow. I don't think she knows that Darth Vader is his father. I don't think that's just ever come up before. Yeah, they just didn't know. So we
I can't believe you spoiled that for me. How dare you?
Yeah, we get to that scene. So I started on the slide, kind of just started recording, and I got her reaction to it. I mean, she didn't like scream and freak out, but she like visibly reacted to the reveal, and it was super cute. I was very excited about it. So we finished that, and she asked to watch the next one. I said, "Okay, Sophia, we have to make a very important choice. We can go on to, you know, episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and then go in release order, go back to the prequels and the sequels." I said, or we could do the machete order. When she's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, we for a little while we pretend like episode 1 doesn't exist. We go back to episode 2 and 3, and then jump forward to 6, and we kind of get this like in between. This happened before to give some context and." I don't know if you're familiar with the machete order, but when you think about it, and going 4, 5, 2, 3, 6, it makes a lot of sense because you obviously by the time you get to episode 2, you know Vader's his dad, so that's not like a shock anymore. You've met Yoda, you've had that surprise happen, so you don't like, you know, if you were to watch an episode order, finding Yoda in the Swamp of Dagobah wouldn't be a surprise. You're like, oh, that's Yoda. Like, it's not like, who's this warrior he's looking for and who's this weird little green frog. So you still maintain that surprise. You move the reveal of them being siblings, Luke and Leia, to episode 3. And you like when they say she's having twins, and she's like, wait a minute, who's the other twin? And then she says Leia for the name, and then you go, aha. So you have that moment. So it's a cool way of watching the movies if you've never seen it. I just never had anyone to do it with, so she's gonna do that. So Friday night we're watching Attack of the Clones, and then we'll try to get through the rest, and then pick up from there. So
yeah, I've never heard that, but yeah, that sounds like a cool way to do it when you frame it that way, like because like you said, you get the surprises, and then once you are aware of that, you treat our thing sort of like a flashback to get like fill in the gaps, and then you get to 6. That's interesting. Yeah, I never thought of doing it that way.
And the reason you could skip episode 1 is because when you really think about it, nothing too consequential happens in episode 1.
Because episode 1 sucks. That's why you just don't watch it.
It's not even that, because like, I mean, by the time you get from 1 to 2, Anakin is much older, a different actor. He's essentially a brand new character. You know, you lose the context of Qui-Gon. Maybe you don't quite get the relationship between Anakin and Padme at the beginning, but you figure it out pretty quickly. You don't quite know who Jar Jar is. That's fine. Yeah. The biggest thing you don't know is like they talk about Qui-Gon episode 3 and you don't know what they're talking about, but whatever. And then when you're done, you go back and watch it as like a fun little curiosity, I guess. So we're going to do that. She's excited.
Cool. All right, AJ, I think I got one more super chat for us here.
All right, let's do it.
From Baba is me. Yes, I see what was happening here now. They said you missed mine. Grub looks young and Mike looks smarter than usual. is what I wrote. And yes, that got garbled up while I was having some issues with the stream. So thank you, Baba's Me. Thank you for submitting again. Appreciate that. And I think that gets us caught up. So AJ, would you like to get out of here?
Yeah, it's about that time, eh?
All right, I'll roll the music for the people at home.
Okay, I don't hear it, so you start shouting when it gets loud, but I'll start doing the outro. Thank you for listening to Game Mess. Besides, everybody, like we said, you can subscribe to the show on the podcast service of your choice. Join the Patreon. Support the boys. They'll be back next week in full force. In the meantime, if you are going to PAX East, Jeff, like we said, is in Boston. He is at PAX. I don't even know what they're doing. I know they have a panel still on the schedule. They were committed to PAX.
Whatever was going to be the Blight Club panel, they're still doing something in that time slot. So like Jeff said on Tuesday, still go to that panel. They're gonna figure something out to do for y'all.
Yeah, if you're there, definitely make sure you go check it out. Say hi to Jeff and Dan, and I'm sure they'll find some kind of shenanigans to get into. Those two are wacky. That's what everyone likes them, right?
Right.
And yeah, Sean, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm Blue Sky. I am turbosean.com, SHAWN. And hey, I'm streaming again over on Twitch, twitch.tv/turbosean. And I've been having a fun time doing that. I've been playing through my favorite game, Mega Man Legends. This is my first stream game back. I've been chit-chatting with the folks. There's been a lot going on recently, so people have some questions and want to express a variety of things to me. So we just chit-chat while I play a game I'm very familiar with. That's been a lot of fun. I got roped into doing Days Shawn Remastered sometime in the next couple of weeks, so we're going to fire that up. Look forward to that, everyone. And yeah, and then the VODs go up on YouTube, which is at TurboSean as well. But how about you, AJ?
I am at AdgeGuy on Blue Sky. You can follow us on 90s Disney, our Disney podcast I do with Mike and our brother Chris. Like I said, when they get back from their trip this weekend, we'll do a bonus episode next week, talk about their whole trip. They're also going to Epic Universe tomorrow, so we'll get to hear more about that. And then we'll have our next episode that I'm doing on about the Society of Explorers and Adventurers.
Society of Explorers and Adventurers! Awesome! Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye!
Bye! Well, shoot, I can't see anything. How am I supposed to fight?
Becker Solution